So back on the Daimler again. I'm trying to change the oil in the gearbox. By some fluke, this spanner is actually the right size. The first one I picked, 15-30 seconds, does actually fit this square plug. So this is the gearbox. So I'll probably just drain the gearbox oil. And the issue is, or several issues really. One, this balance pipe, the exhaust balance pipe, fouls the plug. Also, this is a shield that I made to stop oil, if oil leaks from the engine, as it inevitably does. This just keeps the oil off the hot exhaust, so it stops it smelling so much, and also hopefully stops it catching fire. So that's always good. Anyway, so it seems to be undoing. It might just come out, I think, without me needing to take the balance pipe off, which would be a real pain. The question, of course, is whether I can get it back in again, but I'll worry about that later. If I can just get it out first, that would be a real boon. I do have a proper square wrench for this, but I can't get it on because the balance pipe's in the way. So there you go. And now this doesn't fit for some reason. Oh, there we go. So it's already leaking oil, but it's having to push the pipe out the way as it comes out. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's good. Draining into this tray I've got underneath. Looks pretty clean, but then of course it would do, being the gearbox. I need to look up how much is supposed to be in there, and I will obviously refill it with fresh. I've got a feeling that it's just 2050 multigrade. It's not a gear oil in this gearbox, I don't think, from memory. But obviously I'll look it up and make sure. While I'm down there, I just noticed that this bell housing bolt is missing. So there's one here, but this one is missing, so that's obviously dropped out at some point. It is just a nut and bolt, so I can replace that with the UNF. I think everything on this car pretty much is UNF, which is nice. So yeah, I'll sort that out with a replacement. Leave it to drain for a few hours, and while I look up the spec of the oil and the capacity. So checking the owner's handbook, in the back there's the lubrication chart. Yeah, so in here the gearbox is a straight SA30 grade oil, no extreme pressure additives mentioned. So yeah, I'm sure I've used just 2050 mineral oil so far, so I'll put the same in again. That'll be fine. Classic 2050. Something's gone wrong with it so far, so that's alright. And meanwhile, capacities, where are we? Gearbox unit, 1.5 pints, 0.852 litres. Interestingly, the back axle, rear axle differential unit, 0.852 litres, it's the same capacity. That just confirms that's what I looked up before when I was doing the rear axle, changing the oil in that. But it actually took about 1.25 litres, maybe slightly more. So that was kind of weird, but sure enough, it does say here that it's only 0.852. Anyway, so it's not a lot of oil really, but I do have some classic 2050, so I will use that and fill it up. So this is the drain plug from the gearbox, and the threads are slightly damaged from here down. For some reason, there's sort of burred over slightly. But checking it out, it's a taper thread for a start. It's a British Standard pipe taper thread. Turns out to be 3/8 BB BSP and 19 threads per inch. So what I've done is to find another one online, and again this is the same thread, 19 TPI, but the thread length is exactly the same, so that's good, and the start diameter is the same. So the good thing about this one is A, that the threads aren't damaged, and B, I can put it in with an Allen key, so I won't have the issue of getting round the exhaust balance pipe. So I'm going to use this one instead and stick it in with some well sealant. You should put sealant on a taper thread, so I'll do that. So this is the shield that I made up, very simple, just a bit of bent aluminium, two hose clamps bolted to this, so you can go over the pipe and then just fix it in place. What I've done just now is cut another slot in here, so I can get through to the drain plug more easily. Use the nibbler, which is great with this thing. I've used it so often over the years. The new Turner nibbler. So yeah, it's just got a little reciprocating cutter. It's a die and punch basically, and it cuts out little sort of arcs of circles. But it's great. I mean, there's no force. It can cut around corners, and it just works really well. So that should be better. I'll put this back on, and we're all done. Right, so the plug is back in, nice and snug, although I was careful not to over tighten it, because being a tapered steel plug, I guess it could potentially crack the aluminium gearbox casing. So yeah, I wouldn't ram it in too hard, but I think that's okay, it's not going to drop out. So I just put my DIY shield back onto the balance pipe, keep the oil from the scroll seal and the rope seal, which is still on the crankshaft, from burning on the exhaust. Right, so that's back on the this oil shield, and with the cutouts I've got access to the plugs, so that's good for next time. Notice, by the way, the hose clips are connected to the aluminium through the bolt, of course, but there's a nut on the inside as well as the outside, so it just spaces the aluminium off the exhaust pipe, so it shouldn't get as hot as the exhaust does. So I put the car back down and fill up the gearbox with oil. So I'm going to use this Halfords 2050 Classic, I just happened to have lying around. I'm using the BSA as well, so I'm sure this will be fine. 850 ml, a tiny bit more, so that should be right. We'll check it on the dipstick when we get it in the gearbox. It's a bit awkward to get to, but obviously take the bung out, take the dipstick out, which has a high-low markings on it. I've got a little funnel, so should be able to get the oil in without making too much mess. So yeah, I put exactly the right amount of oil in and left it for 15-20 minutes to let the oil settle, drain past the gears and so on. And it's almost exactly halfway between low and high on the stick. So I guess that's where it should be. I might put another drop in just to take it over halfway, but that 852 milliliters is obviously correct. Thanks for watching.